Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video we have a deck of panning. If you're new here, my name is Natalie. I post videos all about makeup and beauty. If you like what you see here today, I hope you will consider subscribing before you leave, but why don't we get started? So today's video is a new series to my channel and something a little different. If you have been a subscriber for a while, you'll know that I have done project pans for the last few years, but I didn't start one for 2022. If I'm honest, I think it's because I found my project pan from last year a little bit of a chore and I wasn't enjoying doing one anymore. So I decided in January, amongst other things that were going on in my life, I decided not to do one for 2022. But recently I did find the channel of Emilynmax here on YouTube. We'll have her channel linked in the description box below. And she does a lot of project pans on her channel. She seems to have quite a few different ones ongoing at any one time. I find that very intimidating, but one of her styles of panning in particular did jump out at me, and that is called the deck of panning. So I did watch one of her update videos. I do believe it is done on a monthly basis. I couldn't 100% follow what was going on, but she does kindly link the kind of intro and how to in her description box. So I did go and watch that video. I think I actually watched the one from 2021 and I followed along how to do this project pan. So I decided to give it a go for this year. Yes, okay, I am starting quite late with it being not far off halfway through the year, but I wanted to give it a try and see what it was like. And because it is a kind of rolling project, it doesn't matter too much. I am going to try and briefly explain how this project pan works, but like I say, I will have Emilynmax's channel linked in the description box below, and I will also try and link a how-to video. I think she did do an updated one for 2022, so I will link that because I say the one I followed I think is from 2021. So what you need to do is grab a deck of cards, and basically each of the cards in this pack will refer to a prompt contained in a table. I will put a screenshot of the table on the screen now, but note that I do believe this is an older table. I think when I've screen grabbed it, I've got the 2021 table. If you do go through and follow Emilynmax's video, you will see different prompts because it looks like she's changed things up slightly for 2022. But at the point I was doing my preparation for this video and picking everything out, I went off the old table, so we're just going to go with that. But I suppose you do have the choice. If you are going to do something like this yourself, you can use the table that I've taken from her from last year, or you can use this year's table, which looks to be a little bit more comprehensive. And I think she does actually link the spreadsheet itself in her video, so you can go and see it in more detail rather than just trying to look at it on the screen like I've put it up, because not all the prompts on the table might make sense at first glance. And I think she does have a kind of crib sheet of what each one means on a different tab on the spreadsheet, so definitely go and check that out because she'll explain things a million times better than I'm doing. I'll put the table on the screen again now, and as you can see, some of the prompts are kind of most expensive product, least expensive products. They're kind of self-explanatory, and then I think there might be ones that are OG YouTubers' favourite, and there's things like different seasons on there, matching the shirt that you wear, random colour generator. I think there's like A to Z of products, and I think you do that random on a randomizer as well. There's also matte products, indie branded products and things, but it's just quite a fun way to pick products that you want to pan throughout the course of the year. I think that was my issue with starting a project pan this year. I just didn't really know what kind of things I wanted to pan, whether it was things that I wasn't enjoying reaching for, or things that I thought I could easily finish up, or setting myself challenges. So this was great because it kind of took that decision out of my hands and forced me little prompts that I had to stick to. So what I did with mine is go off the table that I've put on the screen. I will possibly put it on the side of the screen as I'm talking through things. What I did is kind of pre-prepare this video. I was going to physically get my deck of cards and pick everything out and then go and get my products and things, but because I'm a little short of time, I did do it ahead and I couldn't find my deck of cards. As you can see, these are pretty battered. I just couldn't find them. It turns out they were in my husband's work bag for some reason, so I did end up just doing a random generator online. It does mean that I'm able to put a screenshot up of the cards that were chosen, which is good, and it shows that it's fair. So the cards that I picked were the 10 of diamonds, the 3 of clubs, the 3 of hearts, the king of diamonds, and the queen of hearts. So I'll start first of all with the 10 of diamonds, and the prompt in the table for that is autumn. I was quite torn with where to go with this one. I had a good look at my collection and there were quite a few things that jumped out as products that I always reach for when it's autumn. The first of which was the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. There was a prompt further down the table that I knew I wanted to use something like that for, so I decided to not go with the Naked Heat palette and go with something else. And I actually went with a lipstick, which is definitely going to be a mean feat to try and get this one down. So this is from the brand Proper Beauty, and first of all, the kind of colouring of the packaging, it feels very autumnal with the brown shade, and then this is in the shade Moxie, which is a really nice warm pink shade. I will actually do a little swatch because that'll kind of use some of the products up because I've already taken my close-ups. So that is the shade there. Is that cheating? Probably, but I'm going to go with it. So it is quite a warm pinky berry type shade, and it is definitely one that I do much prefer to reach for in the autumn and winter months. So I thought that would be quite a good one to stick in for the autumn prompt, and it will encourage me to use it more. I do really like the formula of this product, but I do find the shade of this one plus the two other shades that I have slightly intimidating. The other two shades are definitely more intimidating than this one, but I didn't want to set myself up for a fail, so I thought I would go with this one because it is more wearable than the other ones. One of the ones I have is a really deep chocolate brown, which I don't necessarily associate with autumn, it's more this shade that I do, so that's my reason for going with this one. It is quite hard to gauge the usage of a lipstick, but I have done a close-up, so hopefully when my next update comes around I will be able to see some progress. I do believe that Emily does this on a monthly basis. At the moment I haven't decided how frequently I want to do it. I may do it monthly, if not I might do it in the format that I do my normal project pans, in that I do it quarterly, but we're halfway through the year so I'm not too sure yet, maybe every couple of months. The next card that was drawn is the Three of Clubs, which is hair care. This was quite an easy product to pick actually, because it was only a few days previous that I'd said to myself that I wanted to finish this product up, because I did recently purchase a backup of it, and that is this bottle of Moroccan oil. This is just the normal Moroccan oil treatment, and it doesn't have that much in at all. I have put a mark in Sharpie on the front there, so it does only have this much left. You don't need an awful lot of this product, so it's not as if it's going to be 2 uses and it's gone. It is still going to take a good few uses, but I'm intrigued as to how quickly I can get this one finished up. So I was actually quite excited when I drew a card that was for hair care, because like I say, this had kind of been on my radar to start using more to finish up anyway. This is such a nice product. This is something that my hairdresser introduced me to, and I just absolutely love the smell of it. It makes my hair super soft and just smell really nice. So yeah, excited to use this one up, and then I do have a backup to go into. The next card drawn was the Three of Hearts, which is pop culture. I wasn't 100% sure where this one was kind of going, and when I tried to look up the prompts, that's how I ended up stumbling across the 2022 table and realising that on that table the Three of Hearts isn't pop culture, and I don't think pop culture features on that one at all. So when I was looking in the definition of the terms, I couldn't find pop culture. So for me, I've kind of gone with what I think of pop culture and kind of nostalgic things. So I've gone for a collaboration between Colourpop and Barbie, because I think Barbie's pop culture. I may be way off the mark with that one, but that's what I'm going to go with. So I've decided to try and pan an eyeshadow in this palette. The one I'm going to go for is this one here, Make Waves, which is a kind of crease shade. This is a palette that I don't reach for very much because a lot of the shades in here are quite intimidating. It is a highly pigmented palette, and even the likes of kind of this shade up here, this Let's Go Party, is a much brighter pink than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to play it safe and go with this nude brown shade here. And also because it does have an imprint on it, I thought that might be an easier way to gauge how much use I've got out of it. So again, I've done a close-up of this one, so hopefully the next time I come to use it, there'll be some movement in the palm tree on there. I don't even know if I've actually touched this shade once yet, because it does look untouched. I can definitely say I've used this Boardwalk shade, and I know I've used that Let's Go Party, but I don't know whether I've used this one or not. So it definitely does need to see some use. So yeah, excited to see how far I can get down this one, and say hopefully with the palm tree it'll make it a little bit easier. The next card chosen was the King of Diamonds, and when it comes to the King, Queen and Jack cards, I think possibly the Ace as well, they do have a slightly different rule. They're not contained in the main table, they're kind of on the side. In the table that I was using, it didn't matter what suit it was at all, it was just whether it was a King, a Queen or a Jack. In the 2022 table, I think it's now been split, whereas if it's a black suit then it's one thing, if it's a red suit then it's another thing, but say the table I'm going off, it was just one thing. So the King was the oldest product. So for this one, I've gone for my Urban Decay Original Naked palette. This is kind of the reason why I didn't want to pick Naked Heat for the first prompt, because I was already including another palette in here. I thought trying to pan 3 eyeshadows was going to be a mean feat, so that's why I thought I best just stick to 2. So this is definitely the oldest product in my makeup collection, and this is the kind of product that started it all, didn't it, for a lot of people, to be honest. This is definitely my first high-end purchase. Out of everything in my collection, I don't think I have a makeup item older than this, so this was quite a nice prompt because it was an easy answer. The thing that wasn't so easy was picking what shade to pan. I was torn between quite a few. My most reach for shades in here are probably Sin, Sidecar and Toasted on the shimmers, and then Naked and on the mattes. I was looking for what had the biggest dip in it, and I would say it is Naked, but I did kind of want to have a shimmer in here because the shade that I was using in the Barbie palette was a matte. So in the end, I decided to go with Toasted. I'll do a swatch of Toasted actually, and I think I'll do a swatch of the one in the Barbie palette. Again, is it cheating that I'm making use out of it? Probably, but you want to see swatches of what I'm using, right? So let's do Toasted first. That is a really pretty taupe shade. And then I'll just quickly swatch the shade from here, trying not to mess up the palm tree too much. Okay, so this isn't a brown shade as I thought at all, it's actually orange. This palette is so not what it looks like. So many of the shades in here are so much either darker, deeper, more pigmented, or completely different colours than what they look in the pan. I did think that was going to be a neutral brown, but yeah, it's an orange. So they are the 2 eyeshadows that I'm going to try and pan. How successful I'll be, I'm unsure, especially now that one of them is a slightly less wearable shade than I thought it was going to be, but we will see. I'm quite confident I'm going to get a lot of use out of Toasted. Actually, now I think about it, because you can't get this anymore, I'm forcing myself to use it up, which I don't really want to do because I don't want to ever not have this palette, and I'm using up one of my favourite shades, but it still needs to be used because makeup expires. I'm kind of trying to talk myself into trying a different shade, but if I want to actually make any progress, I need to pick a shade that I know I reach for. So yeah, I'm going to stick with my original decision. I'm going to go with Toasted in the Naked palette. Then the final card that I drew was the Queen of Hearts, and the prompt for Queen was random colour generator. So I did just go on the website, I think it's like random.com or something, and pick that I wanted a colour, and the website was very kind and gave me a pink. It could have given me so many much worse colours after it gave the pink and I screenshot it. I did just do a couple of other random ones to see what I could have got, and there were some bright colours. There was actually one that was probably the same shade as this one here, and that definitely would have thrown me for a loop. So I'm very glad that I was lucky enough on my first attempt to get pink. So my instinct with that was to go for a blush. I was trying to pick which blush to use. I had my phone in one hand and so many other blushes in my other hand, matching them to each other to see which was the closest. And I think the closest I could get was this one from Colourpop. So I will have the pink up on the screen, but I think it is pretty close. Let me do a close up so you can see if I'm right. But I think it's pretty close. This is the Floating Light blush, which is in collaboration with Disney and Rapunzel. It is one of my favourite blushes, probably more so for the packaging than anything, but it is a really pretty pink shade. And a lot of the other pinks that I had were more kind of mauvey leaning or a bit deeper, whereas I feel like this one is pretty close, especially compared to the ones I had in my collection. So this is the one that I decided to go for. I haven't actually reached for this one in a good while, so it was a good excuse to pull it out and get some more use out of it. I'll just do a swatch of this one. Kind of had to fit it awkwardly at the top there. It's another one of those things where, because it's a product that I love, I've stopped using it because I don't want it to end, because I'm never going to get rid of this packaging. But that is a silly reason to not use a product up. So that is the final product in the project. I even think I said at the beginning, but this is a 5 product project. Obviously you can do how many products that you like, but I believe that's what Emily's intention is, that you do 5. It could be because she has a lot of other projects on the go at the same time, but with this one it is 5. But obviously do what you wish, you can do more than that. But because I wasn't intending on doing a project pan this year, I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself, so I thought 5 products was more than enough. and I've got a fair mix of products here. Obviously the hair care is the product that I'm pretty confident I'm going to get finished. Perhaps not by the next update, but at least by the end of the year, I'd like to say, because there's not that much product left in there. As for the other 4 products, I'm not confident that we are going to see pan in any of them at all. What I'm thinking I might actually do is perhaps do a tally of them, because I know that's something that Emily does on some of her products in other projects that she has. If she doesn't think she's going to hit pan, she tends to say, I'd like to hit so many uses out of this, and does a kind of tally. And I think also one of the prompts in this project is in it for the long haul, which is a product that you want to use 100 times. So I think that's what I might do. On my little notes, I might just do a little tally at the bottom of how many uses I've got out of each product, because just in case the next update you can't see any progress at all, at least that way I'll know how many times I've used them. Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do with that. So I do believe I've covered everything, but like I said, I will have Emily's channel and everything linked in the description box below. If you are wanting to get more into project pans, definitely check her channel out. She has so much inspiration when it comes to panning. And because I am trying to be on a low buy this year, that is definitely something I need to get better at, finishing the products I already have in my collection, because I have a lot. But other than that, that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.